Greetings, welcome to Comic Book Catch Up. I'm Jason, and today I will be looking at a few books that I've picked up the couple of weeks that haven't been in my main review video. So we have Nightworld issue 1, we have Nightworld issue 2, and we also have Batgirl Future's End. As you can see, it has the nice 3D cover. So getting into this, first up we start off with Nightworld issue number 1 of 4. This book came out, I think, probably just over a month ago. And it centers around our main character, as you can see on the cover, Palinunio, and he is this demon, and he's been cursed to be a demon. He lives in a haunted castle, and his girlfriend, Lydia, is kind of just permanently asleep. She's either sleepwalking or sleeping, but she's permanently asleep. She'll never awaken. And to awaken her, Palinunio needs the soul key. And the only place he knows to find it is he needs a book, and he goes to Grandpa Lowe and to get this book, and scares the bejesus out of Grandpa Lowe and his granddaughter Ludmilla, but they agree to help him. But then Helena and Lotus turn up, and all hell gets loose. We have this shady character called Underboss who seems to be scheming to stop our hero getting the soul key, and we have this other character called Hotshot who seems to be put on some mission for Underboss. This was really good, a lot of fun. The art, maybe because it's very Kirby-esque, has a definite Silver Age kind of feel to it. Like even like you open it up and your first double page spread with the haunted castle, just really straight away it feels very, very Silver Age, which is a good thing. The art throughout the book I just really loved, and really serves the story well. The characters are great. It took me a few pages to get in, because the first few pages we've got this kind of like internal monologue until, you know, we meet our hero. And I kind of felt when we get to where he meets up with Grandpa Lowe here and Ludmilla, I felt that's where for me the book started to pick up, you know, and I started really getting into it, and by the end I was just hooked. Some fantastic characters, super curious to see all what's going on, you know, and just a lot of fun. I really like this. It's really different from anything else out there right now, and has a really unique feel, and the retro vibe just really is up my alley, and so I really enjoyed this book. Like I say, I found it initially difficult to get into because of the way the internal monologues kind of like, it's kind of like an Edgar Allan Poe kind of poem kind of deal, and the language was quite a bit to kind of get one, because you're trying to figure out what everything is. But once we get to where we meet Grandpa Lowe, I think the story just really clicks into place, and I really enjoyed it. A real hoot. Definitely worth it up if you want something a bit different, or something with a kind of Kirby kind of feel. Definitely well worth a check out, and I give Nightworld issue number 1 4 stars out of 5. So I got issue 2, and my comic shop still had this. I did buy it before issue 1 had arrived, but I waited to read it when I got issue 1. I was glad when I read issue 1 that I had picked up issue 2 ready, because I got straight into it. This issue we deal a lot more. We get a bit of the origin story of Hotshot, as we find out the mission he's on from Underboss is to get the soul key, and we find out what Underboss has over him. We get to find out a bit more about Palinunio and Lydia's condition and how they got there, with this really cool dream sequence. Meet this character called the Super, who I'm kind of guessing is a riff on Superman, and that was interesting. And he's been kind of under the control of Underboss as well. We get to see Helena again, as she's now looking to get the soul key as well. And we get to see Hotshot and Palinunio go at it and have a big scrap, as Palinunio now has the soul key, and yeah, he turns up to kind of take out. There's a really cool story so far in the beginning, which I really liked. We kick it off, like I said, with Hotshot, and again it's got that retro kind of feel probably because it's so Kirby-esque in the style. It does naturally, and the way that it's coloured and everything as well just really gives it that retro vibe, which I think really adds a lot to the book. We have this beautiful dream sequence here that kind of gives us a bit more into the backstory of our hero, and that it may be his fault that his love is in this condition. A beautiful 2-page spread as we meet this character, the Super, who, yeah, definitely to me, because he has the red cape and everything, definitely to me seems like some kind of riff on Superman there. And then we get like the battle between Hotshot and Palionio, which I just really loved. And like I say, the artwork throughout it all was first class. I loved this. We got so much deeper into our characters. The story was fun. There were moments that made me laugh. There was some great action sequences, and this book, if I wasn't already hooked by the first issue, the second issue really got me hooked. This is just right up my street, and I'm so glad that I discovered this. And this is one of the advantages, you know, when you watch videos on YouTube, you might see reviews sometimes, or people mention books you wouldn't have picked up off the shelf, but when you hear them talk about them, you think, oh, wait a minute, that sounds up my alley, so I'll go and try that out. And that's for me what happened with this book, and I'm so pleased that I did pick it up, and I'm definitely going to get the next two. I'm completely hooked on this, and I'd give issue 2 of Nightworld 5 stars out of 5. So finally, that brings us to Batgirl Future's End, issue number 1. I'm going to just deal with the story first, and then we'll get to my opinions. The gist of this story, we kick it off 2 years in the future with the wedding of Batgirl to Steve Harris, who is a policeman, no less. We have a tragic kind of turn that takes, and that leaves Batgirl traumatized. We then jump 5 years into the future, and we meet the Batgirls. We have 3 Batgirls, which I really liked. That they're taking out this gang, and we now have, they're controlled. Their like person who's over them is the Black Beast, which is Barbara Gordon's new persona. And we get the whole backstory into how she became the Black Beast, how she went through all the villains in Gotham, and then she sought out Bane and got trained by Bane, but she couldn't bring herself to kill him. Anyway, the story builds up to Black Beast, our Barbara Gordon, having to have a showdown with Bane. And, you know, they have a really cool fight, and the story has kind of an uplifting, happy ending, which is kind of cool. I love the story. I've kind of tried to be a bit vague because I don't want to give everything away, but I really liked the story, and I liked the emotional journey that we get to see Barbara Gordon go on as she kind of goes into darkness and then comes back to the light, and I really enjoyed that. I felt this was the best usage of Bane that we've had in the New 52, certainly, and probably since Nightfall. This is the best use of Bane. They really build him up as something big here, and I really liked what they did with him. The identities of the 3 Batgirls, I understood who the 2 were, but the one I wasn't sure. The youngest one, I wasn't sure who she was supposed to be, but certainly if that's their futures to become Batgirls, certainly the 2 of them, I was definitely pleased that they in the New 52 might become Batgirls. That was really cool, and I also really like the role Barbara Gordon takes in a more Oracle kind of role, where she's like leading them and training them, and not actually being out there in the field. She's letting them do it while she directs them. And, you know, maybe we may see, and it shows the potential that maybe with Barbara Gordon in the future, we may see her develop into Oracle as she did in the pre-New 52. So that was, I liked that. I thought that was really cool. My only real issue with the book was, again, it didn't really add up. It didn't feel like it was the world that we've seen in other books. The fact that she took out all the kind of villains in Gotham, wouldn't Batman have something to say if she was taking people out? That was my only kind of problem. that there was no kind of and it's Batgirl's book, it shouldn't be, but if it's a Gotham-wide story where she's kind of supposed to have took out all of these top criminals, like the characters we saw on the cover here, Mr. Freeze and the Penguin, and she's learnt from them as she's gone along, wouldn't that kind of brought Batman into it? And we don't really in the other Bat books get any mention that these villains have been taken out and that something happened, you know. So again, it just feels a very standalone story, which yeah, it's a one shot, so it should be a self-contained story, but it doesn't feel like it builds or builds into this big world that they're building in the future. So in that respect, once again, I was a bit disappointed. But the story itself, I thought was really good and really well done. Really enjoyed the art as well. And I think it was one of the better Future's End books. And give Batgirl Future's End issue number 1 4 stars out of 5. So that's me done for another comic book catch up. I don't know when I'll be back, because I'm going to try not to pick up extra books. Because I really want to start reading the Marvel Ultimate Graphic Novel Collection and work my way through that. So I don't know when I'll be back with a comic book catch up, but my reviews should be up in a few days. So if you want to see what I thought of this week's books, please check out my reviews. If you liked this video, give me those beautiful thumbs up. Let me know you enjoyed what you saw. As always, thank you very much for watching my video. I've been Jason. This has been my comic book catch up. Bye for now.